Hey, what's up? What's up? I'm good. Yeah, it's John here from JJSC Tech, and welcome again. I'm trying to get more consistent with these streams, different topics and etc., and just trying to not, get lazy and fall off. So today, I was setting up a podcast or finishing. It's not finished yet, but I was kind of like 90% finished setting up a podcast for this client, doing the lights, doing the audio, and etc. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about podcast mics. Now, I know that this topic is drawn out, but this is not the budget friendly. Okay, budget is not a good word because the word budget just means an allocated amount of money for a certain project. It doesn't mean cheap. So this is not the cheaper version of podcast mics. So this is in the area of SM7Bs, RE20s, in that sphere. I'm not going to talk about a Rode pod mic. I'm not whatsoever. Not whatsoever. So we are going to dive in to two mics that I picked up. Am I going to keep them? I don't know. I don't think so. I have to hear what they sound like. So let's get right into it. Now, podcast is very important. And one of the most important things about a podcast is the audio. Now, the video is kind of like a new thing. When I was first doing podcasts, probably back in 2015, it was just audio and you just used to be able to, you were only able to upload it to Apple iTunes and you can have podcasts that way. I don't even think Spotify was big around that time. So it was mostly audio. Video just started to come into it, video podcasts. But we're going to focus on the audio aspect of it because that's the most important. Because if you're doing a video podcast, if you're doing a video podcast and the audio is trash, people aren't going to tune in. much worse if you're doing an audio only podcast and your audio is trash. People aren't going to tune in whatsoever. So let's look at some mics, you know? So let me see. Let's do kaboom. Let's do this. All right, cool. So, right here, this is one of my favorite mics in this budget. The RE20. I'm kind of biased towards the RE20 because of my voice. My voice is more suited for RE20. You guys can see all of my tabs. Hold on, let me fix that. Let me put this up a bit. You guys don't need to see what I'm looking at. You feel me? Let me set this real quick. Kaboom, boom, boom. All right, and let me bring this down just a bit. All right, cool. So, one of my favorite mics, because it sounds good on my voice. It sounds good on the majority of voices. The other mic is something like the SM7B, the icon of broadcasting mics. So this is another good dynamic mic, very gain hungry, but with audio interfaces like the Rodecaster, you don't need a cloud lifter. If you do need a cloud lifter because you're not using a Rodecaster or a Mackie DLZ or something like that, you can get the SM7DB, FM7DB, which has a cloud lifter built into it already. And you're looking at the 500 bracket. It kind of sounds the same as the SM7B, it just has a cloud lifter. So you have everything together in this one microphone. But we're not looking at any of these because I have covered both of these mics already. I also had the SM7DB and I tested it and it sounds like an SM7B. We are looking at two other microphones. I was actually watching a podcast and I saw these two microphones. I'm like, what is that microphone? It looks really good on camera and it sounds really good as well. So these two, Earthworks Ethos. So we'll be looking at this and the Earthworks Icon Pro. All right, let me type. All right, so there's $100 difference between both of them. I don't know why. That's what we're gonna test today. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of look the same. The podcast that I was watching, they were both using the Icon Pro. So that's what we are going to look at. Well, we're going to look at both of them. So let me show you what this looks like in person. I actually have both of them right now. So the Earthworks Icon Pro. This is the Icon Pro right here. So you see, it's nice and silver, nice and metal. It feels heavy. It has a good amount of weight to it. As you see, it looks really good on camera. It looks really good on camera. So if you're doing a video podcast, yeah, these microphones are the way to go aesthetically. The other one is the Icon Pro. Some people might say they just put a windscreen on it or a pop filter and charge $100 less. Not really, because if you look at the grill, it looks kind of like a baby SM7B, you know? It literally looks like a baby SM7B, but the weight, it feels premium. I ain't gonna lie to you. This thing feels premium. Like, which is heavier? The Icon Pro is a bit heavier. Am I bugging? Hold on. Let me see if I'm bugging. Let me fact check. All right, let's see. Let's see the Icon Pro. Let's see how much it weighs. Physical, 1.5 pounds. And the Ethos is what? 1 pound. Yeah, it is heavier. It does feel heavier as well. It's just, it's like, I mean, both of these things are built. Like, you can drop these things and I think they'll still work. The way these things feel in my hand right now, it just feels like pure metal. Like, that type of metal, like, if you put it in water, it will just start to rust. Not cheap metal. Feels like real metal. All right. All right, so let me see what these things sound like, because that's what I'm interested in. Now, I haven't tested these. The only thing I've done is unbox them to save time. I don't know what these things sound like. So I'm going to do what I always do and run them through the Apollo. You know what I'm saying? Let me just pull up the Apollo to make sure you guys see what I'm doing as well. And let me change something. All right, good. I'll keep that one, but let me change the screen share to the Apollo. Am I tripping? I must be tripping. Boom. All right. Acam, nope. UAD. Bam. All right. So you guys can see all the adjustments that I make inside of the UAD console. And I have a little surprise as well. Let me turn on this feature of annotation. All right, so you guys should be able to see what I draw on the screen. So, and it works very well. Hopefully you guys can actually see that, because I would be upset if you don't see it. That'll be a waste of surprise, you know what I'm saying? All right, so I will be using that for like minute things for minute things that I want your attention to be brought to, instead of, you know, like the traditional zoom, because that doesn't work in this view. So annotation is going to be a lifesaver. All right, so I will be hooking it up on the SM7B line. So this section right here, I will be setting it up on this section. So all of these settings are set to the SM7B, but I will run it dry with no plugins whatsoever, and I'm gonna see how gain hungry it is. Right now, the gain for this is 34 dB. As you see it right there, it's at 34. So let's see Wagwan, you know what I'm saying? Venroy Witt. What's up, Venroy? Okay, you see it? Okay, very good, very good. I'm glad that you guys see it. So I will kill this microphone, this Neumann U87 AI. I don't think it'll sound close to this, but it should sound pretty good. I want to see how it sounds with my voice as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is put the cheaper Earthworks Ethos. Yeah. So let me do what I do real quick. Let you guys listen to some music, because I can be clumsy at times and this can take longer than it needs to take. You feel me? All right, that was short-lived. Okay, so right now what I'm gonna do now is plug in the... ooh, this thing just jumped. All right, right now what I'm gonna do is plug in the Earthworks icon, Ethos. Ethos is the $400 one. I'm gonna plug in that one. I'm gonna kill the U87, and the next time you will hear my voice is with the Earthworks Ethos. Let me get it together. All right. Boom, left channel. Boom, right channel. Okay, you guys should be able to hear me now with the Earthworks Ethos. So this is completely dry. No plugins are going on it whatsoever. As you can see, everything in UAD is turned off. All of my plugins are turned off. So this is a complete dry signal. And I must say, the gain level is pretty good. I don't know how it is with the plosives. Okay, let me unmute so I can hear it in my ears. Testing 1 2 1 2. It doesn't sound bad. It doesn't sound bad. Now I can't hear it as loud in my headphones, not like the U87, but I must say, maybe I can increase the gain because I'm looking at the levels and they aren't that loud. So if I crank this up a bit, 1 2 1 2. Okay, so now it's a little louder and it should be a bit better for online. So now you can hear this full mic. This is what it sounds like with no plugins. Let me say a little sentence. I don't know how it's doing with the syllables. Sibilants or anything like that. So let me cut that in my ears. I was walking down the street and I saw a bear and I was like, it's a bear. And the bear looked at me and I looked at the bear and we just stood there and stared. Bars. So you guys tell me what this sounds like. I know I just probably clipped just now. The next thing we're going to do is change this mic and use the Earthworks Icon Pro. Because right now this is the Earthworks Ethos. Oh, let me try to remove this windscreen and see what it sounds like. How much plosives and how much sibilants it rejects. All right, so this is me just speaking into the mic without this windscreen. It's probably a bit harsh and it's probably clipping because I see red and that is never a good sign. So let me bring this down just a bit to like 39 dB. Okay, cool. Testing 1 2 3. I was walking down the street and I saw a bear and I was like, it's a bear. And the bear looked at me and I looked at the bear and we just stood there and stared. Bars. All right. Put this back on. Boom. And let me change over to the Earthworks Icon Pro and see if that sounds any better. All right. So now we're listening to the Earthworks Icon Pro. So this is the more expensive one. This is the one that just costs $100 more. And does it sound like it's worth $100 more? So again, this is completely no plugins. It's completely dry and it's set to 39 dB. You tell me. You tell me. You tell me. Let me see what it sounds like in my ears. All right. This is what it sounds like in my ears. Do I like it? Not sure. Is there a double? There might have been a double. Okay. So let me get rid of that double, and this is what this microphone sounds like. Testing, 1, 2, 3. This is the Earthworks Icon Pro, and it is $100 more. It doesn't really reject plosives that much. I can hear the plosives in my ears. So with this microphone, and since there is no windscreen, it might be best to put it at like an angle it towards the corner of your mouth to kind of like reject some of those plosives. So if I change to the big camera right here, this is it. This is me talking directly into the mic. So if you was to do this and put it at the corner of your mouth, Peter Piper Pickles. Hold on, let me mute that again. Hopefully you guys weren't hearing a whole bunch of doubling. Testing, 1, 2, 3, because I see 2 levels inside of my feed. Streaming, is that testing 1, 2, 1, 2, testing 1, 2. No, it should be fine. It should be fine. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I might just mute it because I don't want it to taint what you guys are hearing whatsoever. So if I do Peter Pipe to Pickle Pepper, as you see, the plosives are really harsh on this mic. So at the corner, Peter Pipe Pickle Peppers, yeah, they aren't as bad. So I wouldn't advise speaking directly into this mic. That's one letdown because it doesn't handle the plosives that well. But how does it sound? Does it sound better than the Ethos? I'm not sure. I am not sure. I can't really tell that well in my ears. But if we go back to this one, we are going to turn on some plugins to see what it sounds like. We're going to try to, try to push this mic. We're going to try to see how good this mic can sound. So let me just try to turn on some of these plugins. So first off, let me start with the SSL plugin. Boom. I mean, this is set up for the SM7B, but we can start it. Okay, so this is the SSL turned on, and you should hear a big difference as well. I can hear a big difference in my ears. So this is it without any plugin whatsoever, and this is it with the SSL plugin. I mean, it sounds pretty decent. I don't think I have to do that much tweaking in this SSL. All right, so let me turn on everything first. So let me turn on, which one is this? This is the 1176. So let me turn this on. Boom. So this is with another compressor to increase my voice and to push it more in the forward, in the front. Let me turn on the Neve as well. All right, so this is with Neve, and this will be with the Teltronics. All right, it's telling me I'm running out of DSP. I should have put this on the other UAD, but too late for that. It is too late for that. Oh, what I can do is turn it off of from the yeah. I turn it off from the U87 because I'm not using that microphone right now. I just got to remember to turn it back on. Okay, so this is my signal chain for the SM7B, and this is what it sounds like on this microphone. Now with the SM7B, it's a dark microphone, so it doesn't pick up a lot of sibilance, and I can hear with this that it's quite a bit of sibilance. What can I do to turn that down? All right, so sibilance, I can probably play with like the high frequencies up here. So that's where I'm going to start. So I am going to turn that down just a bit. Am I hearing a big difference? Yes. Okay, so that's I can just add a de-esser, but if you don't have a de-esser, this is the thing that you can do. So right now this is set to, as you see, there's a number 5, but that is kilohertz. So this is 5,000 hertz. So this is what it's set to right now. So that's where like most of my sibilance is, because if I leave that and I come down here, let me get the other color. If I get this right here, whoa. Yeah, that's a circle, not an equation. So if I go right here, you can see I have this set to like 700. So if I was to like manipulate this, it does nothing really to my sibilance, because my sibilance is around the 5,000 kilohertz frequency. So I can bring that down just a bit. Sally sells seashells at the seashore. Sally sells seashells at the seashore. Okay, so it's a bit more bearable. It's a bit more bearable there. So I will leave it right there. I don't care about saving this because I can just load it to go back to my SM7B defaults. Yeah. All right. So I think I'll keep these settings for the ethos, the Earthworks ethos as well. And I want to hear how that sounds. So let me do a quick little test again. I was walking down the street and I saw a bear, and I was like, it's a bear. And the bear looked at me and I looked at the bear, and we just stood there and stared. Bars. All right, so this again is the Earthworks Icon Pro with a whole bunch of plugins. Right here. All right, so let me switch over to the ethos. I wonder if this requires phantom power, 48 volts. The only way to find out is by turning it off, right? Yes, it 100% requires phantom power. 100%. All right, so let me play something else and let me switch back to the ethos. All right, I'm back, and this time it's with the Earthworks ethos. Now, off the bat, I can hear that this is a darker mic. This is definitely a darker microphone, so I shouldn't have any issues with sibilance. Interesting, very interesting. So, if I turn back up my frequencies up here, where I had it, I think I had it right up here. I should have a bit more presence on this mic. Yeah, this microphone does a good job at removing a lot of the sibilance. Now the other microphone, if you're really sibilant, I wouldn't go with that microphone. This Earthworks ethos is more of a rival to the SM7B because my voice isn't as boomy. My voice is a bit mid-range. It has a bit of presence and it has a bit of bass. I like the way this mic sounds in my ears. I don't know how it sounds online. I will have to re-listen to it to see which one I like the best, but there is definitely a place for both of them. Because with some people, let me turn this down just a bit. With some people, like with a very, very bassy voice, I would not put on this microphone whatsoever. I would have to take out a whole lot of the lower frequencies, right? These right here. I have to take out a whole lot of those. Probably some of the low mids as well. Whoops. Let me go back on that. Let me highlight that a different color. Some of the low mids as well. This will just be for someone who's like really bassy. But people like my wife, who is very sibilant, like every time she speaks, is you got to turn down the high frequencies, bro. And so I'll put her more on these darker microphones, so you won't hear too much of those S's. They have their place. Which one I like best? I don't know. They both sound good. I mean, the ethos. No, the Icon Pro is more like the RE20. Is it a bit crisper? I don't know. How about I just get the RE20 and test it with these settings and see which one sounds better. You know what? Let me test the RE20 and let me test the SM7B as well with these settings. And then let's see which one sounds good, which one you prefer, you know? All right, so, you know what I'm saying? Listen to some more music. So I must say the SM7B is like really heavy. This mic has this mic needs a whole lot of gain. Jeez. Gain hungry, gain hungry. 1 2 1 2. Gain hungry. Let me see what I can do. 35. Turn this up, turn this up, turn this up, turn this up. This is nuts. How much gain this mic needs. This is insane. Why does this mic need so much gain? I mean, there's other things I can do, but all right, I don't want to turn it up that much. I have this up to like 52 dB, and this is the SM7B. Gosh, I don't miss this mic whatsoever. Um, it's not a bad mic. It's not a bad mic whatsoever. It's just that it's pretty gain hungry, and this is with all of these plugins on. I mean, I can do other things like I can turn up the gain because each of these plugins have its own individual gain. So I can always turn up the gain in each of these to give it a bit more makeup gain. Because I don't have a cloud lifter on this SM7B. Because when I was running this SM7B long ago, I was using the cloud lifter into the Apollo, which I don't have. So if you're using a cloud lifter, that can help as well. Or if you're using the SM7DB, you can turn on the cloud lifter inside of the DB and you won't have this issue. So, other than that, how does it sound? Well, it definitely eliminates a whole lot of the sibilance because you can't even really hear too much with this microphone. You can't hear that much with this microphone at all. What can I do? I don't want to, I mean, I can always turn out the output gain. So this is the output gain, testing 1 2 1 2. This is the output gain, testing. All right, whatever. Yeah, this is the SM7B. So it might sound a little cleaner, because The SM7B it's still a good mic. You just have to have the right tools with this or the right audio interface. If you're running it in in an Apollo, I did graduate. Uh, you can always add a cloud lifter, um, and there's nothing wrong. It wouldn't add any crazy frequencies or anything like that. You'll be good to go. Okay, so enough of this microphone. Let me switch it to an RE20, Electro Voice RE20. The first thing I did before I spoke was turn it down because I know it was going to be pretty hot speaking into this microphone. Okay, so this mic is a bit more gain hungry than the Earthworks, because the Earthworks I was just able to keep at like 30 something dB. With this mic, I got to push it up to probably around 42, 42, 42. Testing 1 2 1 2 42. Testing 1 2 1 2. I mean, this mic is a bit gain hungry as well, and it's probably coming in. I can see with my levels, it is coming in a bit quieter. Okay, so this is the RE20. This is what the RE20 sounds like. This is a bit gain hungry, but it's not as gain hungry as the SM7B. And I personally like how this mic sounds on my voice. Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2 1 2. As you see, if you turn your head off axis, it does a bit of rejection. So you have to speak directly into this microphone. So yeah, out of the 4 microphones, which ones do you prefer? I can tell you already, even though the RE20 is like one of my favorite microphones, I am not even in frame. All right. Even though the RE20 is one of my favorite microphones, I do prefer the Earthworks, how it sounds, over the RE20. Especially the Earthworks ethos. It isn't as sibilant, and it's kind of like a bit in between the RE20 and the SM7B. It's really, it sounds crisp. It sounds very crisp in my ears. So I'm gonna listen back to this online and see if it sounds just like that. Yeah, to see if it sounds just like that. You guys probably wasn't even to hear the music because I muted that channel. That sucks. All right, I just gotta remember to unmute that the next time I change it. So yeah, yeah, I. What am I gonna do with these mics? I might. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna keep them. I mean, I have RE20s in case for like podcasts and etc. I needed another SM7B because I only have one SM7B, but I just might use two RE20s and Earthworks Ethos and I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I just might return them, or I just might keep them. It depends on what they sound like when I'm listening back to this. Yeah, definitely, 100%. So what are my takeaways? The Earthworks Icon Pro is to me not worth $100 more than the Ethos. It's not. I mean, it is a bit brighter, and the Ethos is a bit darker. But I don't understand why it's $100 difference, and it's 1.5 instead of 1.5 pounds instead of 1 pound. Well, the Ethos is 1 pound, and the Icon Pro is 1.5 pounds. I don't know why it's $100 more. It beats me. But I can say that before I give my final comments, if you're using any of these microphones, any of these higher end top tier microphones, these aren't even the higher end top tier microphones. They're microphones that are more expensive than these, like the AKG, which is what I use, AKG 414 or 460, I can't remember, but the XLS version, that's what I use for like special events and etc. I also use that for voiceovers. It just depends on the gig, or it depends on the client, because some clients are more high end. And I also use a U87 AI. Those mics are top tier. I mean, they're more expensive mics, but that's not for me. But these mics are like the good professional premium microphones. And if you're using any of these microphones, I would say do not neglect the cable. Let me switch back to my U87. What am I doing, bro? This is why in Ecamm you have to make sure you lock your screens so nothing like this happen. Okay, there we go. But let me switch back to my U87 AI. All right, boom. So, yeah, do not neglect your microphone cable. The microphone cable is very important. It doesn't make any sense getting a $400, $500 microphone and then you have a $10, $20 cable from Amazon. Make sure you get a proper microphone cable. The reason for this is because those cheaper microphone cables, a lot of them aren't shielded. And why do you need a shielded microphone cable? It's because it won't pick up a whole lot of interference or frequencies in the vicinity. Like if you're running your cable on a power brick and etc. If you're using those cheaper microphones, you probably will get like low buzz frequencies and etc. And if people are walking back and forth and walking on it and stuff, it will break sooner than later. But if you get a good sturdy shielded microphone cable, Nutric connectors or Nortric, however you pronounce it, that thing will last for a very long time. Now, again, there's two microphone cables that I use predominantly. I use Mogami Gold and I use Canary Star Quad. I'll show you what they both look like. If you're going premium sound, get a premium cable. Trust me. Trust me. So let's do this. So the Mogami Gold. I wouldn't advise everyone to get this because this is like 10 feet and it's $67. If money is no object, then yeah, pick up 4 of these. No, well, these are only 10 feet. You might have to get a 25-foot depending on how much you gotta, how far you have to run it. So a 25-foot is $94. And if you have to pick up 4, that's like $400 just in cables. Yes, sir. And, 15 feet, it's $75. But if money is an object and you just need some good cables, you can pick up the Canary Star Quad. Canary Star Quad. These are some wonderful cable. Make sure it says the L4E6S. This is the cable that you need. If you see any other, don't get it. It must say, hold up. Is this thing? Hold on. Because I just hold this and it just literally spelled out what I just said. This is the one to get. How did that just do that? Is it Apple Pencil? Testing 1 2 1 2. Hold on. I know I'm distracted, but I don't know how that did that just now. Look at that. That's crazy. I need to turn that feature off. You can hear what I'm saying. That's OD. All right, cool. So make sure it says Canary Star Quad L4E6S. As you see, a 25-foot cable is $35, much cheaper than $94 or $95. And you can get different colors as well. Boom. Boom. See? Don't say I never did anything for you, because you can get a nice pretty color cable and it is shielded and it is rugged and people can walk on it and it will still work. These are great cables. These are 100% great cables. So yes. Let me, boom. Yep. So that's the thing. And that's what these premium microphones sound like. I mean, these are the top tier microphones. This is what everyone uses. The Ethos and the Icon Pro, they look really good on screen. If you like that nice, shiny silver look, like probably if you have like a podcast setup that's like really dark and muted, or like a whole lot of brown earth tones, you can pop in a silver microphone and it's gonna add a little bing, a little dash of perfection, of niceness to the visuals. So yeah. And again, get proper cables, and that's about it. So I'm going to re-listen to this stream and see if I'm keeping these microphones or not. And someone might be saying, why do you have a variety of microphones? Why didn't you just go with all SM7Bs or all RE20s? And I would say everyone's voice is not the same. I know ideally that's what you do for simplicity and to make your life a bit more simple. If you're doing a 4-man podcast, you would just get 4 microphones. But I'm a little different, so I like the person's voice to be amplified, meaning I don't really like to add too much to the person's voice. So the same way a person will be speaking to you face to face, I like to project that on the internet, on the recording or whatever. So I will pick a microphone that fits a person's voice. So yeah, that's why I have a variety of microphones. Other than that, I will catch you guys in the next one. And most likely I will come back next week with another stream. I'm not going to tell you what it's about because I'm not sure what it's going to be about either. It might be about cameras, or it might be about sound, or I just might bring on a special guest. You know, I'm spontaneous like that. Other than that, I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Peace.